Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba. There's actually a lot of positivity now coming out regarding Paul Pogba. Also too going to be giving you the latest news on Jack Grealish. And then also too going to be talking with you a bit more about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. So let's delve straight into the topic. So we will start with the news on Paul Pogba. So according to a report published this Friday on Marca, which is a Spanish newspaper, I think, they have said that Real Madrid are no longer interested in signing Paul Pogba. Now, the main explanations for this is because Real Madrid are not willing to spend a substantial amount on Paul Pogba, obviously, due to the coronavirus pandemic, and obviously, following the appearance of Valverde. And also, too, Real Madrid have got other midfielders on their agenda. They're looking at the possibility of getting Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes. They're also looking at the possibility of getting N'Golo Kante from Chelsea. But so Real Madrid are now no longer interested in Paul Pogba, so that is now a boost for Manchester United. Because obviously, Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him, and don't forget, last summer, Real Madrid wanted to sign Paul Pogba. The main explanation why Pogba's move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him. Because, we said we wanted around £180 million. We was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016, because we did pay £89 million for the player. So at the moment, Pogba is our most expensive signing. But yeah, Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. But Paul Pogba said last summer his preference was to make a move to Real Madrid. He did say last summer, Paul Pogba, that he wanted to leave the football club. He said he was seeking for a new challenge, and he actually publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. And don't forget, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year and about his dreams, of playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. Now, like I said, Real Madrid did recruit a good 5 or 6 players in, was it last summer? They recommended Eden Hazard in. They also recommended Eden Militao in. They also got Luka Jovic in, Rodrigo, Ferland Mendy. So they did spend, was it in the 200 or 300 odd £1 million range last summer. Real Madrid, of course, are also looking to get rid of players, as well as, get more players in. I think they're looking to get rid of Gareth Bale. Don't forget he was close to a move to China last summer. They're also looking to get rid of Luka Jovic because he hasn't been impressive for them. Karim Benzema is coming to an end of his footballing career. They're also looking to offload James Rodriguez. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. But there you go. So yeah, so Real Madrid now no longer interested in Paul Pogba. And like I've said to Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, we've actually been very, very critical of him, reflecting on some of the comments he has said since the turn of the year. Obviously, Ed Woodward's had quite a few negotiations with Mini Raiola, to try and resolve Paul Pogba's future at the football club. Mini Raiola's had some negotiations with Real Madrid. He's also held some negotiations with Paul Pogba's former club, Juventus, and that, because at least in the last couple of years, Mini Raiola has been working on trying to get his client a transfer away from Man United. But Mini Raiola's got a good relation with Madrid, and I think Paul Pogba's got a very, very good relationship with Zinedine Zidane. The reports have been saying anyway, if Paul Pogba was to leave Manchester United this summer, we could only get maybe 60 or 70 million pounds for him. And I did say if we was to sell him, it would be very imperative that we get more money than what we paid for him. I think we did say if we were to sell him that we wanted at least 100 million pounds for the player. But don't forget, players' values have dropped by at least 15% due to this coronavirus pandemic. So if Paul Pogba was to be sold, we'd get less than what is actually worth. So let's just put that into the equation and that. Obviously, Solskjaer's been talking a lot about Paul Pogba recently. Solskjaer, like he updated you, was it last week or was it earlier on this week? I think he updated you. No, it was earlier on this week. Solskjaer, did say that he wants Paul Pogba to stay at the football club because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Paul Pogba has not yet had the chance to play alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, and to be quite honest with you, I think they complement each other fantastically well in our midfield. Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in our starting 11, you'd have obviously Bruno Fernandes in the number 10, because that's where you're going to get the best out of Bruno Fernandes. And if you put Bruno Fernandes in any other position, that's when he could become a liability. So Fernandes would be in the number 10 and Pogba would be either in the number 6 or Pogba would be in the number 8 and that. So Solskjaer wants him to now stay at the football club, and I think Solskjaer's had some negotiations with Pogba, regarding his future. And he also told Paul Pogba he wants to make him a key part of the club's future. So maybe Solskjaer believes that Paul Pogba is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. And don't forget, we did decide not to trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. So Paul Pogba's got exactly a year now left on his Manchester United contract. Revert back to before the football season was suspended, which was a good 7 weeks ago now, because the football season's been suspended for a good 7, or is it even 8 weeks now, or is it 7.5 weeks? Obviously, Paul Pogba said, then, this was prior to the 5-0 win against Lask. He said, he was interested in staying at Man United, and he was interested in extending his contract at the club and stuff like that. This is what, Paul Pogba had said. And, Solskjaer later on that week, he said, Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season, and he said this in his press conference, prior to the last game and that. Obviously, I think it got reported out earlier on in the season, like he updated you, that Paul Pogba told his teammates that he still wants to leave Manchester United. But since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, like he updated you yesterday, Paul Pogba has revealed his plans ahead of his return, because when the football season does resume, Paul Pogba will be back, and he's aiming to be the best player in the world, is Pogba. He's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. I think he's been out of injury for a good 7 or 8 months now. Don't forget, Pogba did have the surgery on his ankle back in January. He had the surgery on his ankle and that. So he's actually, sustained quite a few injuries anyway as a Manchester United player, as Paul Pogba. But he's really, really looking forward to returning. I think the football season's supposedly starting sometime in June, and they want it finished by the end of July. So Champions League and Europa League games can be played in August, reportedly. There's been talks as well that games are going to be held at neutral stadiums, and there's some clubs that have said relegation should be scrapped if that is the case. Of course, games are going to be played behind closed doors, obviously due to public health reasons. Apparently, games are going to be played behind closed doors until next year. But the football season's been suspended since, like, is it the 12th or the 13th of March and stuff like that. So there you go. But Paul Pogba will be back when the football season does resume, and I think he's going to be back next month. That's what's been confirmed. I think we're also planning to return to training on the 18th of May. This has also been confirmed by Andres Pereira. Yes, it hasn't that. But like I said, if Paul Pogba was to leave Manchester United, I said he'd either go to Real Madrid, but they're now out of the equation. So I think if he was to leave, he'd make a return back to Juventus now. Like I've said to you, swap deals are on the agenda. They've been on the agenda because recent reports have said that Juventus have offered up to 3 of their players in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. And the players that have been mentioned is Douglas Costa, he's one. Aaron Ramsey, I think he's also been mentioned. He's been mentioned quite a few times as Aaron Ramsey. Also, too, Alexandro's been mentioned. I think Adrian Rabiot was mentioned the other week. Don't forget, around a month or so ago, it said that Matthijs de Ligt could come to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus and that. But I don't see it happening. I think he's going to be staying at the football club. He'll be here next season, probably, but I don't know about the foreseeable future. I would probably give him another season to see how he performs, because I haven't really had a perception on Pogba this season because he hasn't really played for me to have a perception on him. But analysing the vast majority of his performances since he rejoined, you've got to make an admission, he has been very, very inconsistent. Don't forget, it said the other week that PSG had expressed their interest in Pogba, and they was willing to offer 2 of their players as part of a swap deal for Pogba, and that was Julian Draxler and Angel Di Maria. Of course, Angel Di Maria is a former Manchester United player, but I said I'm very, very sceptical that he'd go to PSG anyway. It recently said that Inter Milan have been in for Paul Pogba. Maybe Antonio Conte is keen on reuniting with Paul Pogba. Obviously, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players, and that was Ashley Young, Romelu Lukaku, and Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, don't forget, they've got Mario Icardi out on loan at PSG. I think he's expected to go back to Inter Milan, by the way, because like I said earlier on the video today, his contract has been terminated as Mario Icardi's at PSG's because his wife's confirmed that he wants to make a return back to Italy. But I think Inter Milan are looking to get rid of him on a permanent transfer, and obviously they've loaned Ivan Perisic out to Bayern Munich, so they're also looking to get rid of him on a permanent transfer. Barcelona have been in for Pogba in the past, so a number of clubs have expressed their interest in him. Paul Pogba has won 2 trophies with Manchester United. That was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. They're the 2 trophies he won at that he's won at the football club. Don't forget, Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era because he had a really, really bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, did Paul Pogba. Don't forget, we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger, under the Alex Ferguson era, but due to limited appearances, we had to let Paul Pogba go on a 3 transfer and that. So looking likely now, Paul Pogba is going to be staying at Manchester United, so I'm looking forward to, when he comes back. Also to Marcus Rashford, I think he will be back when the football season does resume. Don't forget Marcus Rashford has been out of a back injury since January, so he's been out for the good, 3-4 months now or something like that. The last game he did play was our 1-0 win against Wolves in the FA Cup 3rd round replay. But he has been out with a back injury. And like I said, Rashford's been a big miss because Rashford was one of our best players earlier on in the season. So it'll be also good to see him return as well. So that is the news, by the way, on Paul Pogba. And I think the only way he is the foreseeable future for Man United, and that's if we can get him a long-term contract at the football club. So, Now, let's delve into news on Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. So, the news is on Jack Grealish. This is actually stemming from The Sun. I know The Sun isn't really a reliable source. It's also in Sky Sports as well. That's totally contrast to The Sun because, Sky Sports and that is a very reliable source. And they reportedly said, we are stepping up our pursuit of Jack Grealish. Now, reportedly, we are hoping to get Jack Grealish for around £50 million. That is a cheap solution, to be fair. He's 50 million quid for him. Jack Grealish will be only available for £50 million if Villa are to get relegated. But if Villa are to stay up, then I think, Jack Grealish will cost us maybe 70 or 80 million pounds. Whether we're willing to pay 70 or 80 million pounds or not, I do not know. Jack Grealish, of course, don't forget, he's one of our priority targets. And we've already revealed, he's our preference over James Maddison because, James Maddison's also been another player on our agenda. But we'll give a couple of the main explanations why Grealish is our preference over Maddison, because obviously Grealish is a cheaper solution. Plus, I think he's more versatile. And of course, before the football season got suspended, Grealish was in a better vein of form than James Maddison. But I still do highly rate James Maddison, don't get me wrong. Like I said, there hasn't only been us that have been in for Jack Grealish. There's been a few clubs that have expressed their interest in him. Tottenham came close to getting him back in the summer of 2018. Also, too, City have been in for him. I also do believe that, is it Madrid? Have they also been in for him before as well? But yeah. Gabriel Bondahal recently gave his verdict on it, and he actually believes that Jack Grealish will stay at Aston Villa next season. That's his own verdict on it. You've had Kevin Campbell saying that Arsenal should go in for him. Arsenal should go in for him. But I expect, Jack Grealish to leave Aston Villa at the end of the season. Even if Villa were to avoid relegation, that wouldn't be enough to convince Jack Grealish to stay. It really, really wouldn't. Up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. Like I said, he's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014. And since then, he has become an integral part of their team. And I've got to say, he has flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. Grealish has got a contract with Villa until 2023. So a good 2.5-3 years remaining on his current contract. By the way, I don't think there's any buyout clause inserted in his contract. Jack Grealish can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a winger. But I do believe he'll follow the footsteps of Milner and Gareth Barry in that, because they're also former Aston Villa players. Also, he'll follow the footsteps of Ashley Young as well. He's another one. So, yeah, so there you go. And don't forget, was it back in March? Don't forget, like you updated you, it was back in March, which was quite a few months ago now. You know, Jack Grealish, don't forget, crashed his £80,000 Range Rover into a couple of parked cars, if you do remember rightly. Obviously, reflecting on that incident, you know, Jack Grealish was fined around £150,000. And I think he actually, made a public apology, reflecting on the incident. I think he was actually, embarrassed about the incident, to be quite honest with you. But I think, reflect on that incident, he'd attended a party. So he actually, brought lockdown rules back in March. But hours before the incident, Jack Grealish advised people to stay at home, due to the coronavirus pandemic. But reflect on that incident in March, there was reports then saying that Jack Grealish's move to Manchester United could be in doubt and that. But yeah, so if Villa get relegated, I think we can get Jack Grealish for around £50 million. But we have now stepped our interest up in the player. There's a slight possibility chance he could stay at Villa. There is a possibility chance, but, even if he was to stay at Villa for next season, it'd be only for next season, then he'd leave anyway. But yeah, so we're hopeful that we can get the player for £50 million. So that's the latest news on him. Obviously, I give you the latest news, didn't I, on Jadon Sancho yesterday. Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. But I think now, actually, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off, according to recent reports. Jadon Sancho to Man United is off because Sky Sports came out yesterday and they said that Borussia Dortmund expect Jadon Sancho to stay in the summer, even though a source close to him told Sky Sports that Jadon Sancho is still likely to leave Dortmund, even though Dortmund expect him to stay. I don't think, now we're planning to get Sancho this summer. I think we're planning to get him in the summer of 2021, which is next year. Of course, anyway, it got revealed recently, like he updated you, that his actual preference is a transfer back home to London, if he does leave Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho. But I don't think, anyway, we're willing to pay Borussia Dortmund's, £100 million valuation, because we've already confirmed we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. So maybe now Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is out of the window. So that's obviously not going to happen in that. So yeah, so that's the news on that. And let's now give you some news on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and hinted over our summer transfer strategy, and Solskjaer insists, we will make little changes in the summer transfer market, due to obviously, the coronavirus pandemic. Maybe we won't be doing business as usual, like Ed Woodward, said quite a few weeks ago. We may not do business as usual in the summer transfer market due to the coronavirus pandemic. So what he meant in that aspect is that we won't be spending hundreds of millions of pounds. Ed Woodward came out, was it the other week, and made a transfer promise to Solskjaer, and he said he still insists that we will remain highly competitive in the summer transfer market and that. But like I said, a lot of clubs' summer transfer budgets are going to reduce anyway due to this, coronavirus pandemic. So Solskjaer says, we'll only make little changes in the summer. So he don't expect us to be, as competitive, in the summer transfer market, like we have been in, the recent transfer windows and that. Because I've got to make an admission, since Solskjaer came in, like I said to you, I've seen improvements, and I think, we have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. What I mean is I think we have been a bit more sensible with our recruitment. To be fair, and Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club and spent £220 million on 5 players. Of course, last summer he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in, and in January he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo in. Solskjaer enjoyed a successful January transfer window because I think, Bruno Fernandes has definitely saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United. But we have been criticised in recent years, especially, for us overpaying for players, because we have overpaid for players in recent years. You know, 75 million for Lukaku, 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba, 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba, 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire, 50 million pounds for Fred, 40 million pounds for Nemanja Matic. So we are known for definitely overpaying for players. And we've also been criticised anyway, you know, reflect on how poor our recruitment policy has been for the last 6 or 7 years or so and that. And Ed Woodward, of course, has received a lot of criticism, you know, with this, and also with his poor selection of managers. You know, he's received a hell of a lot of criticism. But yeah, definitely improved in the market under Solskjaer. He's also come out, by the way, Solskjaer, and said, you know, he will not force any of our players to be competitive. He will not force any of our players to be competitive when the football season does resume, if, you know, they are still worried over the coronavirus pandemic. So he doesn't expect us to be, you know, exceptional, you know, when the football season does resume. Obviously, you know, what's been going on with this coronavirus pandemic and that. So there you go. But Solskjaer's already revealed his transfer plans for the summer. You know, he came out quite a few weeks ago and he did say, you know, we will exploit the transfer market when it does, you know, open and stuff like that. But this was before Ed Woodward had come out with a statement. He said he wants to make 4 signings in the summer. I'm very, very sceptical that Manchester United are going to make 4 signings in the summer. I think maybe we could make 1, maybe 2, but I'm just very, very sceptical that we'll make 4. Because Solskjaer believes we need around 4 signings to become title contenders next season. You know, Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Of course, he wants to recommend a centre forward in, because we definitely need a centre forward. He wants to recommend a right winger in. He also wants to recommend a central midfielder in. And there's still some reports emerging out saying that Solskjaer wants to recommend a centre half in, you know. So there's still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. But Solskjaer's got the backing of Ed Woodward anyway, because Ed Woodward has said on numerous occasions this season he's willing to back Solskjaer, and he's also said on numerous occasions as well he's willing, you know, to, you know, stick with Solskjaer. And he's actually said, you know, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. I think also too Solskjaer's got the backing of the Glazers. But Solskjaer, of course, has been at Manchester United now for almost 17 months. So he has been at the football club over the year. And I have taken positives so far from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. Like I said, with, you know, his, you know, the 5 players he's brought in have done very, very well. Also too, you know, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well, because the young players have been given their opportunities this season. Also too, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. You know, we've seen a total of like 9 players leave. Obviously, you know, some players have been loaned out, and some players have gone permanently. The players that have gone permanently, of course, is Young, Darmian, Herrera, Fellaini, Lukaku. You know, Valencia as well. You know, he left last summer after he endured 10 years at Man United. So, you know, they're the players that have left permanently. The players, of course, that we have loaned out is Dean Henderson. He's out on loan at Sheffield United. Like I said, we don't know whether we're going to allow, you know, Dean Henderson to remain on loan at Sheffield United, because we're facing a dilemma over Dean Henderson, because reports were saying that if the season resumes and Sheffield United were to get qualification for the Champions League, then maybe we'd have to pay up to £60 million for Dean Henderson. You know, he did say we are willing to loan him back out, but we're not willing to get rid of him on a permanent transfer as far as I'm aware, because we see Dean Henderson as a long-term replacement for David De Gea. So there you go. So maybe, I think we are set to recall him from his loan back on the 1st of July. Whether we recall him or not, I do not know. We've obviously, you know, got Smalling and Rojo out on loan. I definitely think we're going to get rid of them on permanent transfers. You know, Smalling's out on loan at Roma, Rojo's out on loan at Estudiantes. You know, they won't be coming back. I think we'll get rid of them on permanent transfers. You know, Sanchez, he's out on loan at Inter Milan. He's Alexis Sanchez. And, you know, I hope we can get rid of him permanently, but I think we'll probably loan him back out again, because we won't be able to get rid of Sanchez permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. So there you go. So yeah, a lot of players have left since he came in, which is very, very good. And he's also planning to get rid of more of the deadwood, is Solskjaer. There's some reports saying that Solskjaer could sell 7 players in the summer transfer market. Got an idea what players are going to go. You know, I think Phil Jones is definitely going to go. I think Rojo's going to go, Phil Jones, yeah, Rojo, Smalling, they're going to go on permanent transfers, like I've just said. I think Lingard and Pereira, they're also going to leave the football club because they are two liabilities. They're going to leave Manchester United. There's a possibility chance as well that Diego Dalot could leave the football club. So yeah, there's definitely no players that are going to leave Manchester United in the summer. There really, really isn't that. So yeah, and like I said, before the football season got suspended anyway, we was in a good run of form because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and it is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. And like I've said, we've had some good games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but there again, we've enjoyed some bad games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Of course, this season, we've done very, very well against elite opposition. Like I said, we've taken like 17 points against the big six sides this season. Solskjaer's beaten Manchester City 3 times. He's become the first manager in history to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times in one season. He's beaten Chelsea 4 times as a manager. I think we are undefeated against Chelsea since he got recommended in. Also, too, we're due with Liverpool early on this season. He's beaten Tottenham twice as a manager, so that is a positive. I still think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to work out his best formation because I don't think he knows his best formation as yet. But he's been changing formation persistently this season as Solskjaer. So that's something, he does need to work on. So, yeah, we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for 30 years. And like I said on one of my other videos, can Solskjaer win the Premier League title as Manchester United manager? I'm very, very sceptical about it. I'm hopeful that we can. We are the most successful team in England because we have won 20 titles. 13 of them are Premier Leagues and 7 Old First Divisions, but we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. We can get some silver on the board though this season under Solskjaer, because we are into the FA Cup quarter-final. We're into the last 8 of the Europa League and that. And I want Solskjaer to be successful as Manchester United manager because I love him a lot. And I've criticised him this season, when he's deserved to be criticised and that. But Solskjaer was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance and stuff like that. And I credit him, for what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager because he did really, really well. My reservations about Solskjaer is that his approach to the small games haven't been good, like I said. He's inexperienced as a manager, but the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more managerial experience. But we shall see. He does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows at Manchester United. He really, really does deserve a couple of more transfer windows at the football club. But like I said, I think Solskjaer's got 2 years remaining on his Manchester United contract. Yeah, we'll see though. But Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. We have sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era, and that is David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. In the last 6 or 7 years though, we've been playing catch up. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players. We've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said to you, under Moyes, we saw Fellaini and Juan Mata come in. Under Louis van Gaal, we saw the likes of Depay come in, Falcao. Some people believe Falcao was one of the worst signings we've made since Ferguson. Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Daley Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Shaw, Martial and Shaw, who is filling in now. So Louis van Gaal brought a hell of a lot of players in. And like I said, Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the football club. He brought Lindelof, Bay. Bay was the first signing Mourinho made. Dalot, Lee Grant, Pogba, Fred, Matic, Lukaku, Sanchez, Mkhitaryan. They're all the players, that Jose Mourinho brought in. Ibrahimovic, who he brought into the football club and that. And like I said, we've brought 5 players in under Solskjaer so far. So we have recruited a hell of a lot of players in. But a lot of players have left over the years. So there you go. But we've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson left. And that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup in Jose Mourinho's first season at the football club and that. So there you go. You already know the news, don't you, regarding Odin Igalo. We are looking to extend his loan deal at the football club, rather than getting permanent at this, present time, what's going on. But I think when the season resumes, we'll look at the possibility of getting him permanently. Don't forget, Odin Igalo's loan spell at the football club does expire at the end of this month. So, yeah, so let's just put that into the equation. We did pay around 4 million to get Odin Igalo on loan, and put into the equation, we are paying like, is it a third of his wages or something like that? Because I think his wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week. But he's enjoyed a good start to his Manchester United career. It will cost us around £15 million to get Odin Igalo on a permanent transfer, so he is a cheap solution. Let's just put that into the equation. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.